We are driving to Brantford to visit a very important person in this project, which is Syd Bolton. He runs the Personal Computer Museum, which is kind of a magical place. I am so glad I found out about it. Syd has been collecting vintage computers that, sort of right from the origin of the personal computer. He's an amazing character in the story of Ferris's Room.
We opened in 2005. And I mean, we started with 80 computers in my personal collection, 40 of them maybe running the day we opened, and then our collection has grown to be well over 1,000 computers.
He's hoping to improve what he programs on the screen. Syd made it so that it went from 9 days down to 2, but I think we're going to try to have it so that it goes like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and just like it did in the movie.
This is actually the program here. Does all of the magic on the screen, and I just want to make a small change into the amount of time it takes for the delays to appear on the screen. And you know what? That should do it, so I guess I better save this. Look at that. Save Ferris. That's perfect.
He's really devoted to his thing, right? And I think Syd is a very passionate person when it comes to computers. He's also a really warm person, and he's obviously like kind of king of the nerds, right? In the best sense possible, and I say that as a big compliment.
For me, what's great about technology is not the technology itself, but actually the stories that people have around technology. I never realized how emotional computers and machines could be for some people. And so when I meet somebody who has had an amazing experience with computers in the past and sometimes even brought to tears because of those experiences, that's the kind of stuff that I live for. I love to hear that history that people have, their own personal history, and give them a chance to remember how things were.
I really appreciate how generous he was with me in the project. I mean, literally, I walked into his museum, he gave me one of his precious computers from the museum collection, and I put it in the car and left. I mean, it was just purely like based on goodwill and knowing that I would take care of it and that I wouldn't make off with it.
When I was younger, I just loved computers so much, and I was fortunate enough at 12 years old to have 3 computers at a time when most people didn't even have a single one in their own home. So I was very fortunate with that. But I also got to see a change in people and how disposable technology became not long after that. So I would say after the first generation of the personal computer was over, everybody was moving on to the next machine with little regard for what had come before it. And I wanted to own every single computer there was. Although I had my favorites, I loved them all. So when people started throwing them away, I thought, you know what, I better save these, because one day people are actually going to regret getting rid of some of their machines. And so that was the premise that I started with. And when I was 16, I had 16 computers, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to have a computer for every single year I am old. And eventually I'll probably have a museum of these things. And it took me almost another 20 years to make that a reality. But when I did, I was really quite amazed at the response that we got. Since the very first day that we opened, there's been such a tremendous response from people.
My motivation in this project is about the process. And in this case, I love meeting interesting people. Like, it was like part of that process is working with other people who have like special expertise or knowledge, and someone like Syd is just like one of those dream people that you hope to meet on a project like this. Otherwise, it's a very lonely thing to do. You want to have the sort of team Ferris, but as it turns out, he was a really big Ferris fan, and that really helped. I think it just gave him just that extra fire in his belly to help out and to make it awesome, which it was. People were just like super blown away that we actually had, what looked like exactly the same computer as Ferris, and that it was programmed with that report card on his screen.